Alright, welcome back to Cooking with a Veteran. There's a lot going on right now, around the world and everything else like that. A lot of my brothers and sisters are deployed right now. There's a lot of stress in the world. And as I told you before, cooking to me is my great therapy. That and my artwork. I love cooking, okay? It relieves a lot of my stress. And so while I tend to cook more quick meals like this today, I do love slow cooking meals also. And I might bring some of those to you soon. It's kind of hard when you're trying to keep it into a time frame for everybody to watch and not get bored, right? So anyway, there's a lot going on to all my brothers and sisters out there around the world. Be safe. Hope that you come home soon and you're in our thoughts and our prayers. As always, I want to thank my sponsor, the Tennessee VFW Foundation, for their great support. And I got a few more sponsors coming along that we'll talk about as they come on board. And as promised today, I'm going to be showing you how to make chicken marsala. Now, it's funny, I was looking, so marsala is, and my New York accent, like some people don't hear it. Marsala is actually an Italian wine. I was going around and I was saying, I'm looking for some marsala, and people thought I was talking about masala, which is an Indian dish, or Indian in spices, and they were like, you mean the Indian spice? I'm like, no, Italian marsala. And they go, I've never heard of Italian Indian food. So it took me a little bit, but I was able to find some marsala wine along my travels. And I'm going to show you today how to make this just simple, and then I'm going to make a gravy for it. And it's a cream-based gravy. If you're not into creams, or if you can't do creams, you don't have to do it. It includes some mushrooms, and again, if you're not into mushrooms, if you're not into cream, just having the chicken marsala the traditional way is just fine. Okay, so we're going to start with, I got my my pan going here. You see I got some butter mixing in the bottom, okay, and I'm going to spread this butter around. And it says, a lot of people will say, oh, you use unsalted butter, but I'm Irish, and they go, what does that have to do with it? And I go, nothing really. I just like to use the excuse that I'm Irish and we like our salted butter. All right, so I got my butter going here. All right, I'm going to throw in my shallots. I'm going to throw in some shallots. Okay, I'm using half of a large shallot or a whole of a medium shallot. Okay, you just want to throw some shallots in there and get them going. And I'm also, because I'm going to create the sauce later, you don't have to go beyond shallots. I'm going to add some white onion and a little bit of pepper, and that's to give flavor to the gravy that I'm going to create later. Again, if you don't want to create the gravy, just shallots is fine. Alright, so get that mixing around. Alright, well that's getting ready to saute. So what I've done here, as always, I brine my chicken. So I have the chicken brined up. I have some salt, some pepper, some adobo, a little bit of smoked paprika, and then I coated them with a little bit of flour. Alright? And the reason I did the coating with the flour is I'm using skinless chicken. I want to create a little bit of a crust on there. If I was using skinned chicken breast, okay, I wouldn't use the flour. But because I'm using the skinless chicken breast that I've cut up and I flattened out, okay, like cutlets, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of flour to it. So let's check. All right, our Our onions and pepper are starting to cook up a little bit. I added a little bit of pureed garlic. You know, a lot of people use minced garlic, and you can. I like the garlic flavor in this dish, but I don't want chunks of garlic in this dish. And you know me, I love chunks of garlic, but I'm not going to do that in this dish. And you'll notice I'm using tongs, and the reason I'm using tongs, this goes back to what I was saying. When you're cooking meat, you don't use a fork. You use tongs, okay? You don't want to puncture holes in your meat so that this way, you know, it cooks unevenly. Alright, so that's coming along beautifully. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place in my chicken. And these are thin. These are nice and thin. So I'm not going to have to cook these long. And that's a great thing about this dish, is this is a fast dish to make, easy to make. Okay? Like I said, if you were using whole breast chicken, you know, with the skin on it, then you would have to cook it longer. And you want to start it with the skin down. But I'm not doing that. So this is going to take just a couple of minutes on each side to cook. And what I'm going to do is, as I get prepared, as the one side is done, when this side cooks up, I'm going to add my Marsala. And, you know, it calls for about half a cup, okay? You can eye it. This is not a drinking wine, really. This is a cooking wine, all right? So, you know me, normally I love drinking what I'm cooking with. This doesn't really have a good uncooked flavor to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to use it inside. Alright? I can hear the chicken going. Let's check on it. Yes, it's starting to brown up nicely. Okay? And I'm going to be serving this today. I had some leftover long grain rice. Alright, I'm going to serve this with that today. And you want to watch it. Like, you want to make sure, you want to be sure that you're not burning the onions, okay? You know, that's why I'm definitely using my enamel Lodge cast iron, because I want to see, alright, the onions and peppers. I don't want them burning up on me, okay? I'm not looking for char in the bottom of this dish. Alright, so that's cooking along. I'm going to go ahead at this time and I'm going to add a generous portion of my Marsala wine. And the reason I'm adding a generous portion is because I'm going to keep that flavor right into the gravy that I'm going to make. Alright, we're going to let this sit for a moment and cook up. I love that, you know, I have the glass covers so that this way I can see what's going on. Alright, so while that's cooking up, like I said, I got some long grain rice here. I'm going to put this on a low just to kind of get this going, heat it back up. It was in the refrigerator from when I had it last night. And I'm going to start prepping my other ingredients. So I have some mushrooms. I'm going to get my measuring cup here. I'm going to put in about half a cup of chicken broth, maybe a little bit less. I'm only cooking 3 pieces. So I'm going to put in a little more than, well, almost half a cup of chicken broth. In the broth, I'm going to put in some of my smoked paprika, just a touch of salt, and a heaviness on the pepper. Alright, let's check on the chicken, see how it's going. Beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And you can just smell it. Like, it smells wonderful. Okay? It's almost done. And when you're cooking thin chicken like this, you want to be sure that you're checking on it. You don't want it to overcook. Okay? That is a possibility. Alright, so I got my chicken broth going in my, sorry, not going. I got my chicken broth. I'm going to add a little bit of flour. Let's grab a fork real quick. I'm going to paste this, mix it up before I put it in. Okay, so this way I make sure that there's no big lumps. So I got that. Let's check on the chicken one more time. I think the chicken is done. Yes, the chicken is done. Ah, beautiful. Like I said, this is great because if you do this this way, it really is just a fast meal to cook up. All right, doesn't take that long. So I'm going to come over here for a second. I got my rice, which is heated up. Okay. Like I said, I'm serving this with a long grain. You can serve this with white rice or with pasta. You can even serve it with potatoes. Okay. I like, if I'm serving this with potatoes, I like to do it with the small potatoes, not big potatoes. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. And as I said, if you don't want the gravy, boom, there you go, right there. But if you want the gravy, I'm going to come back to my pan. I'm going to turn a little bit lower. Okay. I'm going to put in some mushrooms. I'm going to get these stirred up. And this is great. Like I said, it's been wonderful to be able to have that second angle so that people can see what I'm doing on the stove and not just seeing me, you know, up in person. I'm sure you like to see the cooking more than me. Alright, so got my mushrooms, they're sauteed up. I'm going to add in my broth with my flour. Okay, and it's already thickening up. Okay, I can feel it as I'm going along. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of heavy cream. And you can sense the thickness as you're cooking it, and you can decide whether you want to add more flour or whether you want it more liquefied and you want to add more cream to it. That's totally up to you. Beautiful. Some nice gravy. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to grab me a spoon. And I'm just going to place some of that gravy right there, okay, on top. I like a thicker gravy. Like I said, if you want it not so thick, you can just add more cream to it. Alright, beautiful. I'm going to move this away from the heat so that that can cool down. Alright, we're back over here. Of course, you know I gotta take a picture of this. Looks great. And now comes the test, right? Gonna get me some nice chicken. And that's what I love about these quick meals, is that I actually get to taste them on the episode. I didn't cut it all the way through. Alright, there we go. The chicken is cooked beautifully. Lots of great flavor. The sauce is nice and creamy, thick the way that I like it. Like I said, you can thin it down some if you want to. The mushrooms add a nice taste to it. Just a beautiful dish. Alright. Alright. You'll catch this episode again, you know, on my show here. This will be in my cookbook also. Like I said, it's just a beautiful, easy to make meal. You can serve it with just about anything. Rice, potatoes, pasta, okay, anything along that lines. They even make a great sandwich, okay? You can put them on a nice brioche bun or something else like that, and they make beautiful sandwiches. So I hope you enjoyed joining me on this episode of Cooking with a Veteran. As always, please like, share, and follow. If there's something you'd like to cook, like to see me cook, reach out to me and let me know. To all my brothers and sisters out there, stay safe. Hope you come home soon. And until next time, hoorah.